Sup nerds, here's the deck that stunned my locals. We're going to do something a little different this time. We're going to start off with our boss monster. We are playing 3 Quartzmon in this deck. He has a few effects. When Digivolving, suspend all other Digimon and all Tamers on the field besides himself. Then gain 1 memory for every 2 suspended things on the field. And then all turns, nothing unsuspends besides him. And then when attacking, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. And then trash a top card of their security stack for every 5 suspended things on the field. This card is super stupid. He is very ignorant, and that's why I'm playing him in the stun deck. Because if you play this against the right deck, they just auto lose, and a lot of decks it'll take them a couple turns to even get to an out to this card, which buys you a lot of extra time. And now onto our Tamers. We are playing 4 BT13 Koromon. You're probably confused by this, but I'll explain later. The effect is your turn when this Digimon has Agumon or Greymon in its name, you get 1000 DP. Just generic DP, so we don't die to security checks. And then our rookies, we have Agumon from BT12. On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 Tamer with Taikami in its name, and then 1 Digimon with Greymon or Amimon in its name. And the inheritable is all turns, while this Digimon has Greymon or Amimon in its name, plus 1000 DP. And then we're also playing 4 BT12 Agumon, that is the other multicolor Agumon from BT12. His effect is on play, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, add a Tamer with Marcus Damon in its hand, and a Digimon with Greymon in its name. Spoilers, we're not playing any Marcus Damon in this deck, so he just is a top 4 search for Greymon pieces. And then his inheritable is not gonna come into play, so I'm not even gonna bother explaining that. And then we were playing 4 Agumon X from BT9. Evos for 0 on top of Agumon. And then his effect is on play / when Digivolving, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Greymon or Amimon in its name, and then 1 X antibody among them to your hand. Place the rest in the bottom of your deck in any order. That's it, we're playing 12 rookies. And then on to our champions. We are playing 4 Greymon from starter deck 1. OG Greymon, first Greymon printed. The inheritable is security attack +1. We all know why we're playing that. And then we're playing 2 Greymon from EX1. The inheritable is when attacking once per turn, you can play a Taikami with a play cost of 3 or less from your hand without paying its memory cost. And then we are playing 4 Greymon X antibody from BT9. The inheritable is all turns. While this Digimon has Greymon or Amimon in its name, and an effect would bounce, delete, or whatever this card. You can trash 2 sources of the same level to prevent that from happening. And then we're playing 1 of Greymon X from BT11. Very sad that this card is limited. Digivolves from 0 on top of Greymon as well as this one. And this guy will reduce your Evo cost of Digimon with Greymon in the name on top of him by 1 for each color. And then his all turns effect is the same as this, except for Heat Bot Dex and X antibody from this source. In order to keep that from happening, he can basically only do it once. And that is it. We were playing 11 champions. Then on to our ultimates. We're playing 4 Metal Greymon from BT12. This guy actually evos for 1 on top of the BT11 Greymon X. That's the main reason why that card was limited, is because it was, quote, too strong. Anyway, this guy evos for 3 on top of all of our level 4s besides the Greymon X that lets him evo for 1. He does have Raid, which lets you, when attacking, redirect your target into your opponent's highest DP unsuspended Digimon. Then his all turns effect is once per turn. When an attack target is switched, you can play a red or black Tamer with 4 cost or less from your hand without paying the cost. That does count himself, so you can like swing, trigger Raid, and play a Tamer for free. And then his inheritable is your turn while Digimon has Greymon or Amimon its name, against piercing. Very important for being super aggressive while clearing your opponent's board. Then we're playing 1 Metal Greymon from EX1. This is essentially a 5th copy of this guy, because he basically has the same inheritable. Your turn was Digimon has Machine or Dragonkin its traits against piercing. Doesn't give Omni piercing, but spoilers, we're not playing any Omni, so that's irrelevant. And then the when attacking effect could come up potentially. When the Digimon attacks a player, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. Sometimes can come up, but not very frequently. You're mostly just playing it for the inheritable. And then we are playing 4 Metal X antibody from BT9. This guy digivolves on top of Metal Greymon for 0, and then when digivolving gains security attack +1. And then if it has Metal Greymon or X antibody in its sources, it gains an additional 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. Very important for getting real swole and then swinging for lots and lots of checks. That's it, we're playing 9 ultimates. And onto our megas and some more of our stun cards. We're playing 3 WarGreymon Ace from starter deck 15. These are box toppers for BT13. We still don't have those starter decks. Those won't come out for like another month, I think. Very good effect. So he's a 6 play cost, so you can just hard play this guy for 6, which does come up if you brick and you have 3 memory and you just slam this guy and they can't deal with him. It's pretty sweet. So he digivolves on top of any level 5 with Greymon in its name for 3 memory. So he evos on top of all of our level 5s for 3. And then he has the Blast Digivolve mechanic, which is when your opponent swings at you, there is a window before the blocker timing window that you can evo into this guy on top of one of your level 5s in your battle area for free. And he also has blocker, so you can, when they swing at you into your level 5, you can just go boom and then block their stuff. Did this multiple times. This card's really fun to do that with. And then his all turns effect is once per turn when a card is removed from either player's security stack, unsuspend him. It is optional, so you can unsuspend him at your leisure. He does have the Ace Overflow mechanic, which can sometimes bite you in the butt. It's not a super big deal. If he leaves the battle area for any reason, you lose 4 memory. Kind of sucks, but it doesn't happen that often to really I would even care about that mechanic. Because if you're swinging your opponent's security, typically he's going to be really, really big and you're not going to die to anything but options. And then you have inheritable effects that protect you from options. So, but this guy is really amazing. Also, I really enjoy the fact that they made the name and level gold. And with the texture on this, it kind of reminds me of Ultimate Rares from Yu-Gi-Oh! Which that was my favorite rarity from that game, so very pretty card. Then our other 3 megas, we are playing 3 WarGreymon from BT12. He evos for 3 on top of all of our level 5s, and then he also has Raid. And then when digivolving, he gains 3000 DP and reboot until the end of your opponent's turn. And then his other effect is all turns once per turn when an attack target is switched, unsuspend this Digimon. That includes himself, so you can swing Raid into one of your opponent's Digimon that's unsuspended, unsuspend him from his own effect, pierce through them, and then swing again, maybe even clear something else that's unsuspended. And then at the beginning of your opponent's turn, he'll just reboot so they can't swing back over him. So something really cool about these guys is they both get 2 swings at your opponent's security. One of them requires your opponent to have a Digimon in play and unsuspended, and this guy does not care. He can swing twice regardless of what's going on. This guy doesn't require any reaction from your opponent, which is really nice. So you can just clear out people's security pretty quickly. Then on to our Tamers. We are playing 2 Taikamiya from BT12. Start of your main phase and on play, he gives one of your Digimon with Agumon and Greymon in its name 1000 DP and blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. And then your turn, one of your Digimon digivolves into a Digimon with Greymon or Omnimon in its name. You suspend him to gain a memory. We're only playing 2 of him because we're trying to keep our Tamer count down due to the Hunter matchup. And we are just playing 1 Yuya Kuga from BT11. He's a memory setter, and then your turn, one of your Digimon digivolves into a Digimon with Greymon in its name. You can suspend him to give that Digimon 2000 DP, and if it digivolved into the same level, it's unaffected by your opponent's option cards until the end of their turn. So if you evo into an X antibody, you can suspend him, give it 2000 DP, and then it's unaffected by options. Pretty nice, because you can promote your metal, evo into metal X, suspend him, plus 2k, unaffected by options, and evo into one of your megas and swing twice at your opponent's security. Sadly, we can't play too many, just due to the Hunter matchup. And then on to our options, we are playing 2 X Antibody from BT9. You can activate this card for 0, tuck it underneath one of your guys. In security, you gain a memory and add it to your hand. And then the inheritable is all turns, effects cannot trash this card. That includes your effects. That's why everything that revolves around you doing something to your X Antibody option and your sources bot decks it, because it cannot be trashed by anything. And then the other effect is when attacking, not once per turn, so if you can attack twice, you can trigger this twice. When attacking, this Digimon can digivolve into a Digimon with X Antibody and its traits for the cost from your hand. So the reason why we're playing this is, 1, it enables our Greymon X from BT11's protection effect, but also it lets us promote our Metal Greymon and be more aggressive with it, because we can swing right into one of their dudes, play one of our Tamers for free potentially, and then trigger this to evo into Metal X for 0 memory, and then pierce through their guy for a couple of checks while playing a Tamer for free, and then you can evo into your reboot. Or something I like to do is, after you swing with your Metal X, you leave it suspended on your opponent's turn, and they try to swing back over it with something, and then you blast evo into WarGreymon Ace, and then they crash into the WarGreymon Ace and die. That's also something that's very funny. And then our last 4 options, 4 red memory boost. So this is main, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 red Digimon card among them to your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your deck, and then delay, you can trash it to gain 2 memory, except for the turn that it goes into play, and security puts it into play. So this cannot add our Ace WarGreymon, and it cannot add our Quartzmon. You have to hard draw into those cards. WarGreymon Ace is searchable by all of our rookies. But Quartzmon is not non-searchable in this deck. That's why I'm actually playing 3, so I can see it consistently, because you have to hard draw it to see it, which works out pretty well. I typically have one in my hand almost every game whenever I need it. But the reasoning for the Quartzmon, WarGreymon Ace is pure black, so you can't use most of the good Omnis that you'd want to use in this deck. Because they wouldn't be able to Evo on top of him. And Quartzmon can Evo on top of all black cards. So he can Evo on top of both of your Megas. And the other reason is you cannot play Hades Force in this deck very effectively because your WarGreymon Ace is only a 6 play cost. And Hades Force looks at the play cost of the Digimon you're targeting with it. So that is why we're playing Quartzmon, because Quartzmon answers all of those problems. It suspends all of your opponent's Tamers if they're playing a Tamer reliant deck and stuns them for at least a turn. Typically it takes most decks 2 to 3 turns to out Quartzmon if they even have outs in their deck, and that's plenty of time for you to build up into an OTK stack in your raising area. And then they do something to out Quartzmon, you promote, just kill them. But if you guys have any questions or anything I didn't address, feel free to put them in the comments. I'll happily answer any questions. But I do appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy some of this kind of content. Want to come back for more. But until next time, see ya.